After the release of my video about the types of liquidity in the market, people began to write to me asking me to tell me how to trade intraday liquidity. Namely, tell us in more detail about session liquidity and how to trade from it. The trading day is divided into 4 6-hour trading cycles. There are 4 main sessions: Asia, Europe, Americas, and the Pacific session. When one of the sessions opens, the price will tend to remove liquidity from previous sessions. And with almost 100% probability, one of the liquidity sides will be withdrawn. Let's leave a small chance that the market will simply fizzle out. After removing stop orders outside the session boundaries, the price will adjust or reverse. Knowing this probability, we need to see what the price plans to do next. In order to learn how to trade session liquidity, we, in any case, need to take into account the context of the higher time frame. And this is the daily and weekly time frame. It is on them that large capitals trade, which direct the price in one direction or another. Of course, you can do without a global price direction, but provided that you are trading second time frames. Since not everyone has this opportunity, we will consider the option with a global price direction. But before we delve into this topic in more detail, I would like to say that, before we continue, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel so as not to miss the release of new videos. According to YouTube statistics, 92% of people watch my videos without subscribing to the Pips Li Trade channel, and this greatly upsets me. Your subscription and activity in the form of comments and likes encourages me to create more useful and interesting content for you. Have you subscribed? Did you like it? Then let's continue. First, we need to download and install the session indicator on our trading terminal. For example, I do analysis on the MetaTrader 4 platform and use the iSession indicator. For MetaTrader 5, I did not find a session indicator with manual setting of the time period, and therefore, I use MetaTrader 4. You can also use the TradingView platform and install a session indicator convenient for you there. There are several options for trading session liquidity. It all depends on what session you are trading and what instrument. My time zone allows me to trade both Europe and America. And when trading in each of these sessions, there are some nuances. So let's look at both options. First, we need to note the liquidity of the previous day. This is the high and low of the day. We also note the high and low of last week. It is advisable to mark them with lines of different colors in order to know in advance where this level is being built from. We need these levels to determine which of the global liquidities the price is aiming for. Also, the levels of the day are the liquidity levels of previous sessions. Everything in the market is interconnected, and this is a fact. The main thing here is to take your time and do everything consciously. If the price has removed daily liquidity at the beginning of the day, then with a greater degree of probability, it will begin to remove intraday liquidity, and only after that will continue its global direction. This is called last day manipulation. Think about it. Let's consider the option of trading during the European session. I use this method to trade currency pairs against the dollar. Many people underestimate the importance of Frankfurt's liquidity, but in vain. Frankfurt is the first hour of the European session, and usually, when London opens, the price manipulates the liquidity of the Frankfurt high or low. I almost forgot to say that I have adjusted my indicator so that Frankfurt is marked separately from the main European session. Also, the European session ends when the American session opens, so that there are no overlaps. I tested such settings over a long time period. My working time frame is 15 minutes, and I consider entry on a 1-minute time frame. Let's look at a few examples. I'll tell you about entry points a little later. The second option for trading in the European session. We need to note the high and low of Asian liquidity and also look at the previously noted daily level. We are waiting for manipulation by one of the Asian sides. As a rule, it takes place in Frankfurt. To work in the American session, we need to note not only the liquidity of today's sessions, but also of the past. This option for marking the liquidity of the previous day is suitable for trading currency pairs. Since in America, it is very rare that the price takes off only one session, we definitely need more information in the form of levels of past sessions. Personally, I rarely trade currency pairs in America, but only work with indices, in particular SPX 500 and NASDAQ. For these instruments, the liquidity of today's sessions, a flow order or an imbalance of the previous day that has not been covered is sufficient. I have already talked about how to determine the correct block order or liquid imbalance in other videos, which you can watch on my channel. Now, let's consider options for entry points after liquidity is removed from the sessions. Two types can be used. 1. Reversal patterns. There are also videos about them on my channel. 2. Price reaction to the level. Reversal patterns are classics in trading. Wait for a false breakout of the level, formation of a pattern with the choke formation, and open a deal. Everything is extremely simple. Here are some examples of trading after Frankfurt liquidity and removing liquidity from several sessions at once. If you pay attention to this more often, you will see that everything is patterned. There are simply several patterns of price behavior. But there are also some nuances associated with their false formation of reversal patterns. This doesn't happen often, but no one is immune from it. The price sometimes sweeps and resweeps the level, and this needs to be taken into account. This is just a calculation for additional liquidity and to confuse you, and also with the goal that you will not reopen the deal. Psychology, and you can't really argue with it. Price reaction? As a rule, the price impulsively breaks the level and also impulsively returns back, at the same time leaving behind price gaps, which shows us the strength of the movement. If the level has been broken and the rollback is formed by weak candles without leaving an imbalance, then most likely there will be a resweep of the level, or the price will continue to move further along the local trend. Advice from a practicing trader. Remember, the market doesn't owe you anything and you can't always be right. Having opened a trade, you already know that the trade may be unprofitable, and therefore we set a loss limiter in the form of stop orders. You don't have to be right all the time. At a 1-2 ratio, you need to be right on 40% of your trades. Look carefully at this picture and realize its meaning. Don't be greedy. This will lead to you simply overstaying your profits and ending up at zero. They opened a deal, took some profit, and forgot about this movement. The main thing is that your scenario, which you planned for yourself in advance, worked out. Next, you enter this transaction into a trading journal and wrote down what you did right and what you did wrong. We traded for a week. We analyzed all our transactions. We made a conclusion whether it was positive or negative. Note your strengths and weaknesses, and continue to work on yourself. This is the only way you can achieve success in trading. There is no need to open trades like from a machine gun. This won't lead to anything good. 2 or 3 trades per week on one instrument is normal. Also, do not take on more than 2 or 3 trading instruments. The more tools, the more unfocused your attention will be. I do not encourage you to use this trading method since any strategy is purely individual and is not suitable for everyone according to their psychological type. But as an addition to your strategy, this information should be applied. That's all I wanted to share with you in this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and it deserves a like. We wish you all good health and more profitable days.